Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
Late for Jones.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class Movie Review Edition. I'm your host for today, Tyler.
I'm Joseph.
I'm Peter.
And today we're reviewing my pick on the Wheel of Destiny, Cyrus.
I am in a tailspin. I'm lonely, borderline desperate. Don't you want me? I have so much to give, you know? I have all these gifts. I'm a blast.
We're kind of like having a conversation here,
Okay. I'm gonna have some conversations too here eventually. My ex-wife, she's getting remarried, but I'm fine with it.
Oh, yeah, I overheard your speech over there on the couch.
Oh.
I thought it was really honest.
Are you flirting with me? I'm like Shrek. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Sorry for interrupting you.
She has a grown son.
Oh, my God.
I'm Cyrus. To John, our new friend. So, are you gonna stay the night?
I haven't had a man over since Cyrus was born.
It's great to finally have a new dad. Hey, John.
Actually, your mom's in the shower. What are you doing?
The light is hitting your hair in this great way. It's like a crippled tree reaching for heaven.
The kid seems really weird. He was messing with me.
You're paranoid. You are out of your league. I will knock you out.
What?
From Fox Searchlight Pictures
Hi, John.
comes a brutally honest comedy.
Your son hates me.
How long have you felt like this?
It's been building.
He's very mature.
An
but he's
odd
not coming
song
to
for the
himself
trailer.
yet.
I'm so proud of how close we are.
John C. Reilly, Jonah Hill, Marisa Tomei, Catherine Keener.
Cyrus.
Listen to me, you little weirdo. If you want to mess with me, I want to mess with you right back. Oh, buddy.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
Coming soon.
To a theater near you. Cyrus came out in 2010. So, well, I mean, we already heard the cast, so I'm not going to go through it. Directed by the Duplass brothers. And also written by them as well. The movie is about John and Molly, a divorced middle-aged man and a single mother, meet at a friend's party and start up a small relationship. All John has to do now is meet Molly's son, Cyrus.
Mm-hmm.
This is a short, sweet movie. Very funny. I wouldn't call it. I guess you could call it a dark comedy.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
it's a comedy. I don't know how dark it is.
Yeah,
It's uncomfortable comedy, maybe.
yeah. It's kind of like
An odd comedy.
It's characterized as like a dark comedy.
It's a wacky trip.
I thought that I saw this movie not when it first came out, but like I got it confused with Tim Heidecker's movie The Comedy because I think I watched those two movies like congruently.
Which surprisingly is not a comedy.
Right. It is not. And so I got the two mixed up, but I remember really enjoying Cyrus enough. And then I just forgot about it for years and years. And then when I had to replace my pick on the Wheel of Destiny, it just popped up in my head because I didn't even have
So it's definitely an out there pick.
Yeah, it just like popped in my head. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about Cyrus. I mean, I love John C. Reilly. He's really great in this film. Catherine Keener, I always love everything she's in as well.
She's great, yeah.
So, I mean, this is my second time watching it. So let's get into some initial thoughts. Joseph, what did you think of Cyrus?
So this is not my first time watching it either. I've definitely seen it in its entirety one other time, and I think I've like caught it. I caught it on TV like when it was playing because like like Stars or HBO or Cinemax would always play like just kind of like random movies sometimes, and this was definitely one of them.
This is one of the movies of our time.
And I remember, I feel like when I was like in a Apple trailers phase.
Oh, that was me. My bad.
I feel like I saw this trailer during that because like Apple trailers was like would release like the newest ones, and I would just go down the list of like the trailers.
Yeah,
you know,
it was a weird era.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I got to go to Apple to find a trailer for the newest Marvel movie or whatever.
Exactly. Movies to look out for.
The newest Duplass movie.
Yeah,
and it had random movies like this on
Call
it.
A Duplop.
And
Duplop.
And it looks like, I mean, it's definitely the trailer now. It has that indie feel, and it was definitely 2009 or
2010.
Definitely very indie.
Yes,
it had that indie like
that Coachella
flair.
feeling.
You know, it was playing like Edward Sharp in the trailer, so it's definitely has that allure to it, and it's filmed in a way that's like.
Feels like you're like a fly on the wall,
like a documentary almost.
Yeah,
I think this was like at the height
accurate.
it was the height of the popularity of like that, like the way that The Office is filmed,
like mockumentary style.
Yeah, very like low, almost like low effort, minimal like lighting, like setups and stuff. You know, of it's just like filming how it is.
Yeah,
you know, and I haven't seen it in a long time, but watching it again, I remembered specific scenes from the movie, and I enjoyed it quite a bit on a second watch. Like I really did like it. I felt like the relationship between John and Molly, is John his name in the movie?
John, yeah,
John and Molly. I felt like their relationship like felt genuine.
Yeah,
with each other.
Felt like real people.
Like I felt like I cared about their success as people in a relationship.
Yeah.
And then you throw the wrench in of the adult son who just happens to be like this sort of has this attachment.
Yeah. Very germane to the show we were just watching.
I know. But in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And I thought it was also pretty funny. It wasn't outright hilarious, but there were definitely moments where I like kind of cracked up. And one specific moment I remember from my first time watching it was when he's up in the middle of the night and he just tells John to come here and he has a knife in his hand.
Yeah.
He's like, just come here.
Bottomless.
Just like, he's like Winnie the Poohing.
Yeah, Winnie the Poohing.
And
Porky Pigging it.
No context. He just like waves the knife and he's like, come here.
Yeah.
it's just so odd, but it was
make you a sandwich.
It was so effective. And then the other scene is when he's playing his music for the first time to John, and he's just death staring him, and it's like this ambient, this music, and
electronic
John
music.
tries to make develop some rapport. He's like, it's like Steve Miller, and he's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was hilarious to me as well, and I watched it with Deanna, and she liked it a lot as well. I feel like the relationship feeling like authentic helped a lot, and then it also being kind of funny as well helped. So I had a good time. I had a good time watching it for sure.
Cool. Pete, this was your first time watching it?
I think so. Like as I was watching it, I'm thinking this all looks familiar, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know if it's just because I've seen the trailer, and a lot of times in movies like this, you kind of get the whole. A lot of like they weigh a lot away in the trailer.
You get the whole picture.
Yeah, you get it. But really, really funny movie.
Yeah.
Not out loud, laugh out loud, not like gut busting, cackle your head off. I'm just smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I think that like Jay and Mark Duplass get a little bit of shit because they make these ultra indie movies, and some people, I don't know, they feel like I don't know, like I don't get why there's some hate for the Duplasses, but their stuff is always, at the very least, competently made, interesting, and clever.
Yeah.
Always. You know, they're not super flashy, the movies. You obviously are making them on a pretty low budget, and it's like you're getting expert comedic timing from John C Reilly and Jonah Hill. And it's like, we found out what Jonah Hill was capable of later, but around this time it was like super bad, and maybe this is even before Superbad, maybe, I think.
Kind of like in that like Abeyta era.
Came before this movie.
Superbad was 07, so that was 3 years prior.
It was in that. It was. I understand what you're saying. It was like in that kind of.
Well, yeah, it was
era.
before he kind of cracked loose, and everybody's like, oh, he's actually a pretty well respected sort of an actor.
Right.
Wolf of Wall Street, Moneyball, even War Dogs. Not like a Shakespearean piece, but he pre-performed his part really well.
Mm-hmm.
He's got it. So you see him in this, and you're like, he's supremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He's very good at making you feel uncomfortable, and John C. Reilly is very good at looking uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like it's a perfect pairing for the two of them because
Right.
you don't think it with Jonah Hill, but if it was Michael Cera, let's just use the Superbad analogy, wouldn't be as menacing. But for whatever reason, Jonah Hill just seems like
He has that deadpan like stare.
Yeah.
it's that, and he just seems like he could be a problem.
Yeah.
Like if Michael Cera does it, you're like, I could drop kick this kid across the room. Jonah Hill does it. If I believed it when the knife was in his hand,
Yeah.
And on top of that, just the Duplass brothers, they have this track record of making, a lot of stuff. TV shows, movies. They're producing other stuff that they're not in and they're not directing. I mean, they were producers for Tangerine, that Sean Baker movie I talked about a few months ago. They just have such a huge back catalog that they know what they're doing. At this point, they're pros.
Right.
Even in 2010, you can tell that they know what they're doing. So taking something that is expertly acted and they building a really good vibe around it, like all the scenes with Marisa Tomei and John C. Reilly, you just feel the warmth between them. You feel their relationship coming together in a very fast way, but it feels real.
Yeah.
And I think that people forget that John C. Reilly is a fucking phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He really is.
He's cut his teeth on Hard 8 and some old, I think he was in, I can't even remember some of the old dramatic stuff that he was in, but he wasn't a comedic actor.
No.
He found it later on and got popular with Talladega Nights and some stuff like that. So people forget that he's actually really good.
Yeah.
And when he's telling her, being very vulnerable to her, and he's like, this feels right. And I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I think there's something special, and I don't want to not say it because then maybe you don't realize how serious I am, but I'm dedicated to you. And your heart kind of warms up.
Yeah.
Hearing that, and you're like, oh, that's great. And the cool thing about the movie too is Cyrus isn't even involved until that is pretty well established, and they're already goo-goo-eyed over each other, and you're thinking, oh, maybe they're going to move in, and maybe there's going to be a future. And then all of a sudden, this fucking roadblock,
It just comes
this Snorlax in the path, if you will,
Yeah.
of Jonah Hill, just looking like a insane person.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be 21 years old.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. You can imagine that. You're like, well, what happens to the kid that his parents never moved out? And maybe they're not as they're a little socially awkward,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be weird dating a woman who has a 21-year-old son
Living.
who's, not probably 20 years younger. She probably had him pretty young.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's living in their house, and they have this very, very tight relationship. It's not bad. That's good. You want to have a good relationship with your kids, but when he consistently oversteps those boundaries, that's where the fun comes.
Yes.
In the movie, fun for us, not for John C. Reilly, not for John. So yeah, this is really, really good. I could have. I mean, the ending would. I feel like it's kind of hard to end a movie like this.
It just sort of ends, which I appreciated. There wasn't this long drawn out thing. It was just kind of okay,
Getting out of the car. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was fine, but the meat of the movie really is going to, I think, stick with me. It's very that EDM electronic music scene.
Yeah.
And I
kind of fuck with that track.
I know, I really did. I was like,
that's kind of cool.
I'm like, that's dope. And if one of my friends were to show me, they're like, oh, you've been working on a new song. And you're like, oh, you produce music? That's pretty cool. Can I hear something? They're like, yeah, sure. And they play me that. I'd be like, what the fuck, dude? Where'd this come from? How did I not know about this? This is cool. But as your new girlfriend's son, adult son, staring, literally dead eye staring him down the whole time, you're like, what do I say? What do I do with my hands?
Exactly.
Can I leave the room? Can I talk to you while it's happening? Is this like a concert?
Yeah.
Do I take a picture? Anyways, really, really good time.
Well, I'm glad that we all around the table enjoyed it. I upon second viewing, I definitely appreciated it more on a second viewing. I think it really I think this movie is really successful on highlighting the absurdity of it all. Because I think John C Reilly's character, John, Molly, they're supposed to be more or less our age, maybe a little bit older.
Like John C Reilly's look the same age since like Boogie Nights.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was thinking too. So like I think about like how absurd this would be for a single person who's like kind of like on the other side of your mid 30s, and you find this person, and then it's just this. It's a really great relationship blossoming, and then all of a sudden, like you said, Pete, roadblock and hard roadblock too.
He was 45 when he filmed this.
Okay,
damn.
Well,
whatever.
I couldn't I couldn't tell.
Well, was Marisa Tomei in the picture?
She was 55 or 45 also.
Okay, all right. So people in their mid 40s dating 21-year-old son living at home.
I like how half of the movies we watch are like, I think these people are supposed to be our age.
I know.
I don't even know what that means. You're 6 years. You guys are 6 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Our age.
He's 15
All
years
of
older
our
than you
ages.
guys.
I don't know.
I felt
think
that way about Good Boys.
I think the reason
our age.
I mean, I think the
Getting
reason
ready to go into high school, having a good time, learning about our bodies, exploring each other. I mean,
I think the reason why I always like bring up that comparison, like saying like our age, is because I don't even like, I'm blind to like adults now. Like I can tell when someone's younger than 30. But people over 30 and above, I'm just like, okay, well,
maybe it's just that
we're practically the same age.
Maybe it's just that the movie is effective and you were able to see yourself in the movie.
Correct.
It's like when you buy a new car, you start seeing that car all over the road.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Or
what is that phenomenon?
Or maybe it's just relatable dating a 45-year-old.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
All of us.
The one thing that it's a small nitpick, but it just irked me, was the mockumentary style of filming of this movie, like just like the zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you can make a gif of me doing this.
It's different. It's definitely a choice. I don't think it didn't detract from me at all. It made it feel more like you're just in a real place instead of a fake world. That's just at least that's how it rubbed off on me.
Yeah, I think
it felt like a subjective viewpoint or objective.
I think it's subjective,
where it's like we're not through the eyes of one character. We're watching the characters.
That's objective.
Objective.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's an objective. Point
I thought it would have been weird though if they interviewed John C Reilly. You know, his character comes out and is like, I didn't expect this, and he's not talking to a character; it's like at the camera.
Yeah,
let's say a John C Reilly impression. Can we do it?
I think he can. We have the technology.
How do I do this?
Okay, first channel your Don Draper. Yeah. Back off a little bit of the bass, less on the smoking.
A little bit more nasally.
Yeah. Remember the froze there.
Well, no, I can't do it.
Very good. I thought he was here for a second.
Well, you can't. I don't know about. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I like that you tried though.
I can't do.
With no.
Well, I don't.
Is that it? You haven't even saying any words. You're just making noises.
I don't know. I can't get.
That's his trademark.
Yeah, I can't get the voice.
Trademark noises.
The voice right.
What are you doing in the forest with Trick? Huh?
See, that's a good one.
Is a little closer.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
It's because I'm almost like a Fat Albert.
I thought it was.
There you go.
Now I feel like I'm in that movie, the Fat Albert movie with Kenan Thompson.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was in that movie.
Yeah, we should watch that one.
No,
he was the titular owl.
Yeah, I know. He terrified me as a child. I thought it was kind of what I thought was weird about John's character was that he still has such a close relationship with his ex-wife that he's invited to the wedding of her getting remarried. Like I thought that was strange. I've never been married before, and I've never had an ex-partner
Who stayed your friend?
who stayed my friend. Yeah. So
I think
there's a
it's
lot-
different when you're older. You know, if
They
you're,
also work together.
That's true.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. They have a.
It has been
working
2.5
relationship.
weeks since I watched this movie.
He's an editor. He's an editor for. He's a freelance editor.
Yeah.
And they work closely together because there's a scene where they're both like in this office and like they're like side by side. And I mean, it's just it was
Unsung hero of the movie too, Matt Walsh playing her soon-to-be husband, constantly flabbergasted that he's still around and she's dedicating this much time to her ex-husband as they're planning the wedding.
Yeah,
I love Matt Walsh and everything. He's so good.
I just thought it was that was. I mean, it was kind of like shocking for me as a plot point and it always is because there's I'm sure there's other stories and movies that have like two people who are married and now like they're divorced, but they're still really close together, like friends, best friends maybe. I can't wrap my head around like having like that kind of a relationship with any of my ex-partners. It's so alien to me. So when I'm watching this movie, I think like I said at the top of the show, they really highlight the absurdity of just day-to-day human life and human relationships. Like John C. Reilly, he's a broken man. He's still very sore about his wife divorcing him. He says that as much, saying, I think it was like in the beginning of the movie, they were having a conversation and she was like saying how she was getting remarried and like he was like, and she was trying to invite him to like a party where he meets Molly, and he just says something along the lines of, well, you know, it stings. And she's like, it's been 7 years. And he's like, well, it still stings.
Yeah.
So like, he's not over her, but yet he's like punishing himself, like constantly being in her life. And so I think that
It's definitely
in and of itself is like really absurd.
Yeah, it's definitely unhealthy. I don't think it's necessarily absurd though. I think that people go through shit and that's not unrealistic.
Yeah. They do it in a lighthearted way though. It wasn't something.
Well, luckily
like,
we don't see the first 7 years. It's just at the end, right?
Yeah.
Right at the turn.
Yeah.
I mean, our first intro to him is he's beating off in his bedroom and with headphones on.
Yeah. That was funny as
Hey,
hell.
just like the whale. It's basically this is our generation's the whale.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was a really funny scene.
Yeah, I mean,
But like
the situation that he found himself in.
Yeah.
With his ex-wife just coming through the door.
Yeah, it's like, how
And you-
dare she go in there? Like, it's not her place.
And you don't know who she is at first. Like, you don't know like their
No, you
relationship.
don't know anything
No,
about
you
it
don't.
first.
Yeah.
I think that it's a good way to.
Is that your initial thoughts? You done?
You know?
Oh, I thought we were in the meat of the movie already.
Well, you can see on the screen we're not.
Okay.
There we go.
Sorry, I thought we were.
You know what I thought was great is that he did a callback to Wreck-It Ralph when he goes. He actually says this line. He goes, "I'm gonna wreck it." He actually says the line, "I'm gonna wreck it."
Wow.
Well, I did not. I've never seen that movie, so
That came out 2 years after this movie.
Yeah.
So he was putting it out into the. They were probably actually filming it.
So he's very.
That's insane.
So he was.
Because it
he was
takes like
clairvoyant.
3 years for a Pixar movie to be made.
Yeah.
Does it really?
Oh, at least. Yeah, if not more.
Yeah, the story is really, really straightforward. I think Jonah Hill, that really highlights his, because this was again like we were talking about. This was like in the Abeyta era where he was playing comedic roles, and I mean, more or less this is a comedic role, but I think Jonah Hill was taking it seriously. Because
The comedy has to be taken seriously, Tyler.
I thought you were supposed to be funny, not.
Nope.
Oh,
Well, that's
Common misconception.
a way to approach comedy is to take something silly and
Treat it
approach it seriously.
very seriously,
Yeah.
he was just. I kind of felt bad for him though too, because towards the end of the movie, there's some self-awareness of his behavior after he ruined the ex-wife's wedding.
That was so hard to watch, that whole scene. You feel so bad. Because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you're like, just don't go. The fact that he tells him too, he's like, hey man, I'm going to my ex-wife's wedding. I know it sounds crazy, but it would mean a lot it would be terrible if you were to ruin this for me. And I'm telling you, I know you're probably going to. I'm just asking you, don't.
I'm gonna knock you out.
Why-
Have you ever been knocked out before?
Why would you even tell him that? Why would you even say that?
It's like planting a seed.
That's what I'm saying. Why even say, like, just make sure he's not there.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Of all things, I would just say, I'm got to go to this thing tomorrow. It's not a big deal. I want you with me, but I can't have Cyrus there.
Yeah.
Because then they wouldn't have the end of the movie, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. That was.
Why would he do the thing that propels the story forward?
I mean, I guess. I mean, the sex must have been so good that he was willing to overlook this psychopathic son.
Well, Marisa Tomei, am I right?
Yeah, she is.
She is a fox.
Yeah, she is very foxy for sure.
She was hot, dude. She still is. She celebrated her 60th birthday the other day and posted a picture on like Twitter or something.
Yeah,
she looks like she's like 40.
Wow,
like 39. Crazy, unbelievable. My cousin Vinny, ring a bell?
Yeah.
The wrestler.
A wrestler, yeah.
The wrestler, especially.
Yeah.
I know.
He's good in that one.
I'm about
too.
to have the hardest boner right now.
Thank you, Tyler.
Done and done.
Way ahead of you.
But
before this, he did. Jonah Hill was in a couple of Tim and Eric movies.
Yeah, he was
movies.
I think it was
or show.
Let's see here.
So
it's TV show
episodes.
Tim and Eric Nightlife. Let's see here. Tim and Eric Awesome Show Good Job. He was in one episode. Tim and Eric Night Live, and just those two. But he was also in the Dewey Cox story Walk Hard.
Yeah,
I don't remember that enough of that movie.
Yeah,
I don't remember who he was in that movie.
I don't think he had a big role. It's kind of like what he played in the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
In 2010, he also voiced the villain in Megamind.
Yep.
How to
Titan.
Yep. Yeah, Titan. He also voiced in How to Train Your Dragon. He was in The Inventions of Lying, Funny People, Reno 911, voicing Horton Hears a Who. 2007, Walk Hard, The Dewey Cox Story, Evan Almighty, 2007.
Oh, Evan Almighty.
Yeah, Knocked Up, 2007.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of work in 2007.
Grandma's Boy, 2006.
He was a hot commodity.
He was the milkmaid.
Yeah.
He was in Click. He was Ben at 17 years old. And then after that, he went on the next year in 2011 to do Moneyball, The Sitter, that gem. And then 2012, 21 Jump Street. And I think that's where he really kind of took off.
Yeah.
They really should put actors' ages along with the movies that they on IMDb. They should put the age that the person was when they made the movie.
That would be great.
Yeah.
It's like just like a toggle at the top of the page.
Yeah.
Turn on all ages.
It's like a filter.
And then look, some kid goes on that site and goes, "Look, this website has an all ages option." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think.
Do you guys know who Benjley Bronk is? Benjley Bronk.
I do not know.
Apparently, Jonah Hill modeled his character after that, and he's an intern on the Howard Stern show.
Okay.
Like his character from Cyrus?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know the name. I know there's.
Benjley Bronk.
Howard Stern's brought us all kinds of crazy personalities over the years. Beetlejuice came from Howard
Amanda
Stern.
Stern.
Amanda Stern.
Amanda Jane Stern.
Oh, Amanda Jane Stern.
Oh, yeah,
of course.
AJ Stern.
Or, I was absolutely AJ Stern. But and what was his other guy's name? Well, Opie and Anthony came from them too.
Oh yeah.
Those fucking guys.
Yep.
But I don't know Benjley Bronk. I looked him up. He's got some movie credits, mostly Sharknadoes. Like 4 or 5 Sharknadoes. He was
in them.
He's in them. Yeah, as an acting. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? I looked it up. He's he's like an intern on Howard Stern and done a lot of like on air stuff on camera or on mic stuff with him.
Okay.
So if he modeled his character after him, he must be an insane person.
Yeah.
Must have a weird attachment to his mom.
Which is also why Howard Stern has him on the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you guys saw that picture in the movie of him breastfeeding.
Oh yeah.
But he looked like he was like 6 years old.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. So John's character, he's looking through all the family photos that are on the dresser or whatever, and it shows the 6-year-old Cyrus breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Why do you put that in a frame?
Who's taking a picture of that?
Yeah, and who's taking a picture of that?
The father that's no longer in the picture.
Yeah. You know, for the so when I was watching this movie, I was thinking to myself, I wonder if like this is like some weird like fetish, like that's not her son. Like that's just
She
some.
kidnapped him.
That's just like some. That's just like some really young guy.
That's the throuple.
Oh, like they're not related. They just both have a fetish.
Yeah, and it's not even sexual by nature either. It's just this person.
I want to be treated like a baby.
Molly couldn't bear children, and so she went on Craigslist and found Cyrus, and then Cyrus was.
He just realizes now he can't let go because he realized how good he's got it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, I'd be cool if someone wanted to pay all my bills for me.
Yeah.
I just have to be their baby.
Make me lunch every day.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
And if you also get to have sex with them, bonus.
Oh my god! I mean,
Bonus.
that's the dream. That's the American dream right there.
I could be your mom and your mommy.
Yeah. That's the dream, man.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, is that what you're trying to do?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm not even going to touch that. I'm not even gonna
Thank
touch it.
you. Don't go
I'm
into it.
I'm trying to be nicer. New Year's resolution.
Don't worry.
It's not the new year yet.
Oh, you know what? Then? All right. And another thing, Tyler.
No.
You're lucky.
hot, dude.
But I'm glad this movie doesn't really get super deep into like the emotional feels of everything. It's really surface level for the most part. Like you can kind of think about like the implications of some of the weird mental stuff that's going on between Cyrus and Molly, and also with John and his weird life that he chooses to lead. But it doesn't like dwell on the fact that it's like weird. Like it just says this movie says this is a really weird situation, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. It's up to you to interpret how weird it is or how weird it isn't.
Yeah, I mean, it could have gone even further with the like creepiness factor.
Yeah,
but it only ever gets to a certain point where it's like, obviously it climaxes into them fighting at the wedding,
Yeah.
right? But that's the extent of it. It's not like he's being manipulative. Cyrus,
yeah,
obviously he's like telling each of them things that the other person said, quote unquote.
Yeah,
and he's being manipulative in that sense, but it never gets to like the good son type of where he's like gonna cut his brakes or something.
Yeah. I think the most outrageous weird part was the shower scene where he just walks into the bathroom.
Yeah.
And hey, I think your mom is in there.
They start singing, right? Don't they?
Yeah, they start singing.
Well, it's a weird thing because at some point as a child, a young child, like your parents bathe you.
Yeah.
And then I know when you're little kids, a lot of times like little kids, they graduate into taking showers with their parents. So the parents can just wash them down real quick. And it's like, that's a strange concept, for people who don't have kids, because you're like waist high with your dad's dick, and at some point you get to the certain age where you feel like you're taking a shower with basically a human instead of just this
another adult,
this child.
Yeah, instead of a kid.
But where is the line? There is no place to say that, and that's very similar to the whole breastfeeding thing.
Yeah,
some people cut it off at a year. I don't know. Some people go 3-4 years. Some people go into the double digits. And it's like
double digits.
Yes, it happens.
I've never heard of that.
And for the most part, that's frowned upon in society.
Is it?
Anyways, but it's like, oh wow, that echo is heavy on that.
A little loud.
Yeah, it's like farted in a cave. Man, you really like your farts. Yeah. But where's the line with the shower?
Well, let's go backwards.
Okay,
so like 10 years old.
That's way
too much.
Old.
Too hot.
You're still like if you're a 10-year-old in the bath and your parents come into the bathroom.
No, that's not with the parent.
Yeah, that's not bad. But I think in the shower,
that's what I mean. In the shower.
I think so. I think
it's 9 years old.
That's too. That's too
in the
old.
shower.
Too old.
Okay, I know. I'm going down.
I think like 6.
6 is the last year. So on their 7th birthday, that's when they stop.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine like how old I was when I was 6. Maybe 5.
How old were you? How old was I when I was 6?
How old was I when I was 6? I think that there's a mathematic formula we can use to deduce that.
I
take
feel like
my age.
No, I get what you're saying.
Multiply by 10, divide by 10.
At what point can the kid bathe themselves?
Well, that's the other thing too. The main goal is to not let your kid drown in the fucking tub.
That's true.
So
and might as well clean yourself
Or just
while you're
stand
at
in the
it.
shower and do nothing.
At some point you're like, okay, here's the shower, boy. You need to wash yourself, but you can't reach the shower head to move it towards your body.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
oh, it's too hot. You know, don't burn yourself.
Oh my God, that's like something I never really thought about. When did I start bathing myself on my own?
I don't even remember.
Well, my parents had a deep tub in their bedroom, and I love baths. Love baths. I'm a hot tub slut. Like if it was up to me, I'd be spending like 90% of my day in a hot tub or a bath.
Well, they don't call you Jacuzzi P for nothing.
That's right. I fucking love it. So I took a lot of baths as a kid. Still take a lot of baths. Big bath fan. I take a bath before work sometimes. Great.
Stewing
Then I'm
in
all
your own
I'm like,
filth?
no, I'm clean.
You're clean before you bath?
Absolutely.
Well, why are you getting the bath?
To soak.
So you're just sitting in warm water?
Yeah.
Wait, did you shower before you bathe?
Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Depends on how like sticky I am.
It relaxes the
So
muscles.
you wouldn't take a bath after a super long day being sweaty,
hell
greasy?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, I would rinse off and then take a shower. But if I just went to work and came back, yeah, I'm taking a bath.
All right.
But the point of that is, I was in my bath of my parents' bedroom because they have the deep tub versus the 2-in-1 of our bathroom growing up.
Oh,
So my parents would be in and out of the bathroom doing whatever they need to do. You know, brush your teeth. My dad would shave, come in and out, whatever business they have in their bedroom. And it was nothing to wiser.
Yeah.
Into like, I don't know, probably 11, 10, 12, something like that.
They just walking in on you nude in the bath?
It's a bubble bath.
Okay. So there's some censorship.
Still to this day. Yeah, exactly. You gotta guard your
this day.
guard your schwanz. Yeah, Mr. Bubbles, the premier bubble bath.
Okay.
So I don't think it's like that strange, but as an adult, like if my parents were to like walk in when I'm taking a bath right now, I'd be like, can this wait?
Do you have to do this now?
Like I wouldn't be like angry at them, but I'd be concerned. I'd be
I would be angry.
I'm like,
I'd be like, get the hell out of here.
I'm like, this is mine time.
Yeah.
You know, in your bathtub.
And I kind of
Mom.
And so like so with that being said, like that frustration kind of translates to John's character and Cyrus.
Sorry, continue. I have a question, but go ahead, finish.
Okay, it kind of translates. Well, now I want to know the question. Go ahead.
Now, is it the same logic if you walk in on them? Well, do they have the same like come in because like
have a sit
like because Deanna's mom, I meant between TMI, but Deanna's mom will take baths, and if Deanna's over there, she'll like. If she just happens to be there, at least when she was living there. I don't know about now, but like it's still adult. Her mom taking a bath. Their bathroom was like one of those that just doesn't have a door.
Yeah,
it's just open.
Yeah.
Like she would go in there, do whatever it is.
That's how my parents' bath was too.
They would just talk, and her mom was just taking a bath.
Yeah,
and like
they would just talk.
Wait, you're telling me Deanna would walk in on her mom bathing
and just have a conversation?
Yeah,
but that's no different than like in a sauna. Except for in sauna is strangers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was like in that household, it was perfectly normal.
All I'm saying is like I liked a little privacy for my schwanz. That's it. Everything else is
especially
fine.
if my parents are in the house.
Yeah.
I don't know why I would be sharing if my parents are there, but
you never know. It's I don't know. It's different for like if it's the daughter and their mom or the son and his father. It's a little different if it's like a boy and his mother or a daughter and his dad. There is a little bit of a different dynamic there. It's like just one of the girls. If you're changing bathing suits with one of the girls, all girls, it's like, oh, they'll change in front of each other. Who cares? Whatever.
Well,
you know, change in front of the boys. Okay, yeah, my dick's swinging around a little bit. You see my butt. Who cares? But
you see my butt.
You see my little butt.
My little butt.
But like you wouldn't change bathing suits with around your female friends. That would be inappropriate, Tyler.
What?
Why? It would be inappropriate.
I'm telling you for later. This is a life lesson.
Wait a minute. In what scenario am I changing my bathing suit?
Before you go swimming.
I don't even have female friends.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Angry Otter says, this is why we invented locks on the door. We have the technology.
But again, like that weird frustration, definitely John C. Reilly performs very, very accurately throughout this whole movie. Just like not understanding the dynamic relationship that his new girlfriend and her adult son have. And I think as the audience, you can really relate to him as well, because although Molly doesn't, I think Molly in some instances can see how weird the relationship is.
I think sometimes it takes that instance, the catalyst of John coming in to kind of wake her up and go, yeah, this is a little bit too much. The relationship is too bad. It's too close.
And it gets to the point where she gets depressed. Like she gets depressed when she leaves.
That crying scene is good. She's good in that.
And like she's like laying on the couch and just like, "Mommy doesn't feel good." I think she said something like that, and I was just like, "Man, this is some." I feel like this. Actually, not feel. I know this has happened in real life with other people before. Not like people I know or anything, but like this has happened in life. I mean, we were just watching a show downstairs in your living room about this exact same thing.
It's a reality show called Mama Boys.
Oh my God, yeah.
Well, even to show, like, I guess the nature of their relationship before he leaves John, when Cyrus decides to move out. And she also gets depressed when that happens. John has this they have like this really kind of cute interaction when they're like going like in bed, and he just kind of leans into it, almost like reverse psychology. Where he's like, "It's gonna be terrible. Actually,
this is gonna suck.
It's gonna be awful."
Yeah,
and that has the reverse effect on.
She starts
like
giggling.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the special thing about this movie is those moments. The blossoming of their relationship, the canoodling on the couch when Cyrus isn't around, just them being humans and like watching the progression of the relationship. And it feels good because, you know, we've all been in that mode, and that like early stages of a relationship always feels like you're Twitter-pated. It's more than just lust, and it's not quite love, but it's something else in the middle.
It's a new exciting journey into a relationship.
Well, especially for them, because like John had just been trying to get over his past marriage, and then she has just been a single mom for this whole time.
Yeah, well, allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she ever really mentions the dad at all.
I think it was like once.
I think one line.
Yeah. Like once she said once the father left, Cyrus was like all I had, or something like that. But the thing is, she didn't seem obsessive over her son, like overbearing, like this is my son. Like
no, he's possessive of her.
He's the one that's possessive.
She felt obliged to him.
Yeah,
pretty much, which was like why she's like leaving in the middle of the night.
But it's good though. I mean, it's like their relationship. If it didn't go into the craziness that Cyrus makes it, I think they do have a somewhat good relationship. Like she comes home when he's playing him the EDM music, and she walks in, she goes, "Oh yeah, concert," and she starts like dancing around in a good time, and it's like, what a loving household that must be.
Yeah,
and she just immediately walks in and starts dancing.
Very supportive.
Yeah, our family, when we grew up, my parents would dance sometimes in the living room. They'd put on loud music for us. And we were like little kids, and like they would be just the two of them dancing around the living room. And there's some of my fondest memories, you know. And it was just like weird stuff, like Billy Joel, or like They Might Be Giants, or something like that, like funky weird music.
Billy Ocean.
Yeah, they put on the possibility of them being giants on the radio, and they would crank it all the way up, and we would just like me and my sister would just be like kind of jumping around like little kids, and they're just dancing with each other, and it's like those are like the most fond, joyful memories I had as a kid. And I saw that in that one scene, and then it immediately comes tumbling down when she realizes that this fucking guy she just started dating is in her house, and she never told him where she lives.
That I completely forgot about that.
He just follows her home.
He just
probably the one least realistic thing about this whole movie, because it all felt pretty realistic.
Yeah,
was that she didn't call it off right then.
Oh, yeah. She didn't have a bigger reaction
to him following her home.
But I mean, she's also like insane already, so maybe she...
No, you're thinking of her character from Crazy Stupid Love. Oh. She's not insane in this.
Well,
she's just a sad single
son's
mother.
Insane. Yeah. I mean, the shoes were such a big point. Like when he's cleaning out the closet, and he like finds the shoes, even though he suspects it at first. He's like, I think he hid my shoes.
It's funny because you don't even have to explain it at all.
Yeah.
He just references. He's like, when he's telling her, he's like, I think your son's got it out for me. Well, what do you mean? He's like, I found the shoes.
Yeah.
I found my running shoes.
In his hidden in his closet.
And when you think about it, you're just like, okay, so he moved your shoes, from an outside perspective, but really deep down, that's a psychopathic thing to do.
Yeah.
I know, because in the morning after he stays the night for the first time, he goes to get his shoes because he has to go to work, and he can't find his shoes. He wasn't affected or anything like that
No,
the
he can't
night
find his
previously. He just, the shoes were in a place where he put them in. And
It's psychological warfare from Cyrus.
Yeah.
It's just a odd move, right? And
It's
then
just to fuck with them.
yeah, it's just weird. And it becomes like a big point.
Yeah, it does.
It would be a big point to me as well. Like, I would say
in real life, like not a movie, but in real life, that would be fucking really off-putting.
Yeah.
Well,
just imagine if you guys came over to here today to record and you go downstairs and your shoes are gone. And
Yeah.
everyone in the house is like, I don't know what happened to him.
I'd be like, well,
Producer Justice is like, I've been working this whole time. Brianna's like, I've been watching the show the whole time.
What would be weird to me is if the lack of reactions from other people. It's like
That would be weird.
My shoes are gone.
yeah.
They were here. Somebody moved them.
Yeah, I lost my phone right before we started recording. I knew it was somewhere that I put it in some weird spot, and I did, somewhere where it normally isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I didn't think any malicious intent. I didn't think that someone misplaced it, someone else took it, one of the dogs took it. I figured I probably dropped it and it bounced into the couch or some shit, and it's on silent.
Yeah.
But if the one pair of shoes that you brought to another person's house are gone when you go to leave, and there's only 3 people in the whole fucking house, you and 2 other people, and they're both like, I don't know what happened to it. You're like, what?
Yeah, it's like you'd be going insane, like a Twilight Zone episode.
That's 100% gaslighting.
I mean, that's when I that's when I switched the friendly mode off. I'm just like, okay, well, you know what? I'm not leaving until I get my shoes, and none of you are leaving until I get my shoes on my feet.
That's why you would never get laid again by Marisa Tomei.
Oh, that's true.
You would turn it on, and then now no nookie for John.
Damn it! Yeah, that would be a hard
it's
decision.
It's a delicate social situation.
The turnaround, like after Cyrus realizes that he's destroyed his mom's happiness.
Yeah.
And then he goes to John's new apartment where he's staying.
Finally decides to be accountable.
And he's apologizing and all this shit. And he's almost like too little too late type of thing.
Yeah.
And they're yelling at each other through the door. I mean, I like the interaction because it's your fault. You fucked it up.
Yeah.
It's your fucking fault, Cyrus. And he's like realizing it. And it's the stakes of the movie. It's just like someone's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like life or death type of situation. But in the context, in the world of the movie, it's like, no, they've developed a relationship really strong at me as a viewer. Like, yeah, you did fuck it up, but I want them to be together.
Yeah.
Well, in the context of life, outside of a life-ending illness that you might get, or like losing a really good job that you thought you might have for a long time, a really impactful long-term relationship is about one of the biggest things you can get in your life. Mm-hmm. So in a real life situation, not Avengers, this is very big stakes for this real person.
Yeah. I mean, I think John even says in the movie, like if this doesn't work out, like I'm just going to be alone in my apartment for the rest of my days.
Which is not true. He's going to find somebody else.
I know. He's charismatic enough.
Hyperbolizing.
He just needs...
But it feels like that at that time.
Yeah, and you can really feel that too. Like when he said that, I don't remember the exact line verbatim, but like I really felt him when he said, like, I'm going to be alone in this apartment if this doesn't work out. Like,
well, I mean, you think that when you eat too much, you're like, I'm never gonna be not full. I'm never gonna eat again. I'm never gonna drink another beer again because I'm so fucked up. And then the next day, you're like, okay,
I can go for a beer.
I can go for a beer.
I can go for a beer.
A delicious Thickless Cage from Track 7 Brewery.
It's like
here in Sacramento.
It's like when I eat like Little Caesars. Like I'll eat a whole Little Caesars pizza.
A whole pie in one sitting?
I'll eat a whole pie and then I'll be like,
have you ever heard of the phrase leftovers?
And then I'll sit with it for a second. I'm like, man, that was really good. And then 45 minutes start to roll by, and you're like, I'm never eating Little
Those
Caesars
8
again.
slices of Little Caesars hot and ready maybe wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
Do you put the 2 pieces together face to face and eat them 2 at a time?
Well, so
like a pizza sandwich?
Yeah.
It depends. Like if I'm on the road, I'll like.
I'm thinking because this is probably a work lunch.
Yeah, when I'm on the road, I'll like
Getting
like roll it
pizza
up
for
in
lunch,
Well,
like
yeah.
on a work day.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's quick. You go in there, you
hot and ready.
hop in, hop out.
Yeah.
And then I roll it up in like a burrito, and then like I put it in like 2 halves, and then I'll just
Do you
eat
the
it,
whole
like,
pizza?
Yeah.
You roll the whole pizza up like a burrito?
Yeah. Like, have you never done that before?
No, it's not shaped in a way that's conducive to a burrito.
Well, you know what?
Try this, Tyler.
It's effective.
Try this. Take 2 slices, put them cheese to cheese,
I've done it.
and then eat it like that.
I've done that.
You basically
before.
take 8 slices, you turn it into 4.
And
4 super slices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just make it into a burrito, and it just
Like the
works out.
whole thing.
Well, no,
whole thing.
I cut the I separate the pizza in half, and then I
Now you have
take the
2 semicircles.
now I have 2 semicircles, and then I start from one end, and I roll it like it's messy. Okay, so
Do you roll it?
But how does it roll? Because the shape of it.
And isn't the pizza already cut? Isn't it falling apart as you roll it?
That's why I said it's messy, but I make it work.
That's okay.
So like it should eventually it just becomes
Tyler eats
like
a hot dog from the middle.
Yeah.
He takes a bite from the side.
I actually have done that before.
I'm sure you have. Probably eat a Kit Kat from the side too.
I don't like Kit Kat, so no.
What the fuck?
No,
That could be the most outrageous thing you've ever heard.
A Kit
or
Kat.
said.
Oh, just a Kit Kat hole? Oh, no, wait. Would you say a Kit Kat from the
He
side?
doesn't like. Yeah, he doesn't like Kit Kats in general.
I just don't like Kit Kats at all.
I like bite a Kit Kat out from the side.
What about like bananas? Do you eat that from the middle?
I open mine from the bottom.
I definitely
I do that too.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
From the
It
bottom?
feels right. Yeah.
Okay,
It's easier.
and
I like
you're calling me outrageous for not liking Kit Kats?
I like that like wooden trunk nub at the bottom.
a little nub.
Yeah, it's like the antenna on the.
Well, sometimes the little stem on the top, you can't get it open in one clean break, so it mushes the top. So you open it from the bottom.
Angry Otter says you're not that out of left field. He eats a whole pizza by himself too, but he
eats
doesn't
it slice by slice.
He doesn't roll it though.
It doesn't roll
That's
it
just
up.
that's just wrong.
Joseph Joseph Bridges says, Tyler, so bizarre.
We'll never understand. The inside of his brain is like in the cell.
It's an enigma.
When they go into Vincent D'Onofrio's brain.
Yeah, my mind is that of an enigma.
I don't know. Yeah, what's going on up there?
Anything else you want to say? No, there's no great trivia on this. I mean, it's a small production.
I mean, yeah,
shot
it's
fast.
it's a very small, sweet, simple movie with some head scratchers that you could think about.
Yeah, I feel like a light. It seems like it would be like a light lifting production because there isn't a whole lot to like set up or anything. I mean, there's some like kind of heavy emotional scenes from like the actors, but as far as like production, it seemed like it wouldn't be like that long of production. I feel like it was probably made in less than
No crazy setups or anything.
less than a month, probably.
Yeah, probably. I would imagine so.
Yeah, probably the budget really went to the actors that were in it.
Marisa Tomei.
Yeah, Marisa Tomei. Anyways, well, let's grade Cyrus. Joseph, what do you give this movie?
I probably like an A minus.
Okay.
Yeah, just I like enjoyed it a lot, and but it's not like the greatest. It's not like really really good, but it's a really short, sweet, pretty funny, pretty kind of uncomfortable at times.
Mm-hmm.
And but it doesn't like go over the line because it's not that kind of movie. Even though the Duplass brothers or Mark Duplass at least can go over that line. But yeah, it was well crafted. I think it was well written. I really believed their relationship. It was acted well. Nothing really. I can't really say anything that took me out of it or that is a detractor or anything. I think I would have liked to know more about just like a little bit more about his job, his editing job. It's just kind of random, which I guess is okay because you don't really need to know everything. I'm like, people have those jobs,
Yeah.
I have that job.
I have that job.
So it was kind of cool seeing them in that kind of world. Yeah, it was very believable. I liked it a lot.
Sweet. Pete, what do you grade this movie?
I'll give it a B with a strong recommend. Like it's the production is so small. There's nothing that really pulls out like this is a fantastic looking movie. This I don't even know if there was a score. There was definitely a soundtrack, but I don't know if there's a score per se.
I didn't really recognize any music in
but
this
it was
movie.
the editing. I think is the star. Besides obviously the great performances from the two leads. Marisa Tomei, when she's needed to do something impactful, she does a great job of it. But really, John C. Reilly and Jonah Hill killing it, and the editing just to really, really sell you on the intimate moments of the characters as they're talking. I think they do a great job of that. That like ultra indie feel of like very artsy art school sort of look, but without the pretentiousness.
All right,
So yeah, very good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a solid A. It's just a really good movie to just put on. Like I think I've said this before about other movies. It's a good date night movie. It has some laughs. You can be intimate. And it doesn't feel like it overstays its welcome in certain places. And the comedic.
Go ahead.
Just
push right through it. Pretend like there's not a dog barking.
Yes, I know. That was a bit. The comedic aspect of the boyfriend and Cyrus, that was a very fun dynamic. And yeah, you can't really, it's hard to end a movie like this. So I like the way they ended it just by saying, okay, that's it. Like everything's resolved. Like there was no need to have like some sort of like existential sort of catharsis. It was just, yep. All right. Everything's good now. And so that's why it's just a nice, neat package.
All right.
So that was Cyrus. Now on to the Wheel of Destiny.
1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny.
All right, Tyler, Cyrus off the wheel. What are you going to replace it with?
I am going to replace it with Queer.
Queer? Wait,
Yes.
the new one?
Yes.
Well, we have to go to the movies and watch it.
Isn't it only in theaters?
Oh,
Yes, it just came out.
Well,
wait a minute. It's not even out yet. Shit.
Well, if it lands on that, then we'll just skip it.
Okay, well then,
No, you already said queer.
damn it.
Wait, if we'll just skip, what's the point of having it on the wheel? We'll just skip it.
Because maybe it'll be 2-3 weeks until it hits streaming.
I thought
I don't know
it
if
was
it'll go to 3 weeks and
I thought it was already out. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about it, and I wanted to.
Yeah, because it's a new movie. Because it just came out.
I know.
The Brutalist. All right, what are you going to do instead?
Killing of a Sacred Deer. That's another one that I wanted.
Okay.
I haven't seen that movie yet, but
Cool. Can't wait to watch that movie again.
why? Wait, did we do an episode?
No,
on that?
we didn't.
I just watched it.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you haven't?
You just watched it?
No, I've seen it before.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I just said it's just that I've watched it before.
okay.
All right, Killing of a Sacred Deer on the wheel. Great. Here is the Wheel of Destiny. Here you go, listeners, YouTubers. I'm going to recap what's on the wheel, and I got to put a call out to the next Patreon member who has a slot on the wheel. I did not do so last week. So if it lands on Chris's slot, which was larger than the real girl, we'll just watch Flypaper, which is Angry Otter's pick. But I think the next one up, got Dylan, Mitch, and Jason.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, Dylan, Mitch,
Another
and
great
Jason.
impression.
Yes. just keep doing them. I want to hear your Bjork impression. I like how you can just conjure them up. It's like they're always right in your back pocket, ready to go.
So see, this is a water bottle, and it has a plastic cap. This cap was not made in Iceland. This cap was made in, I believe, Thailand.
Could be your best impression yet. Okay, so here's what's the wheel. We're going to recap the wheel. 8 slots, 3 hosts. We each have 2 slots plus 2 for the Patreon.
Give us a rating, Joe Bridges, on an impression.
Yeah. Okay, so we have The Fisher King from Tyler. Killing of a Sacred Deer from Tyler.
Oh yeah.
Paul Blart Mall Cop from Joseph. The Hunt with Mads Mikkelsen from Joseph. Chris's Patreon pick. Well, the Patreon slots on the wheel are going to go to Flypaper from Angry Otter. Falling in Love Like in Movies from Pete. Hell Comes to Frogtown from Pete. And that's it. So
5 out of 10.
Here's where we go. This is what we're going to watch next week. Tyler, you want to call it?
Oh God, no. Paul Blart. Thank you.
Paul Blart 1.
Paul Blart 1.
Oh yeah, because we're watching
the one that started it all.
Wait, aren't we watching both of the movies
As one movie.
As one movie?
No.
No.
Just the first one.
Just the first one,
And then the second one is already there.
Maybe Joseph will evaluate if it's a mistake to watch the second one.
We have to complete the series.
Well, certainly will be an interesting experience.
Tell us about it, Joseph.
I don't know anything about it. Other than that, Kevin James plays Paul Blart, who is a mall cop, and he is on a Segway. And
he doesn't play by the rules.
And that's a joke in the movies.
And he's got a mustache.
Yeah, he's mustachioed.
Yeah.
That's all I know about it.
This is 5.3 on IMDb, 34% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it spawned the Paul Blart Cinematic Universe with Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
The PBCU.
Yeah, the PBCU, as we've said many times. Let's see if number 2 is any better or worse.
Mall Cop 2?
7% on Rotten Tomatoes for part 2.
What are IMDb?
IMDb 4.4.
Oh, so worse.
So worse on all counts.
Well, at least we're getting into the good one first.
Hey, it should be fun though.
Yeah.
At the very least, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll have watched a movie. Opened our minds.
Yeah, Joe Bridges says he lives in the Killing of a Sacred Deer universe since he lives in Cincinnati. And he says you can sync Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 with Dark Side of the Moon. I'm not joking. He says I'm not joking. So
Okay.
I guess we'll do that when we watch the second part.
All right.
Okay, anything else, fellas?
I think that's it.
No.
Nope, you good? All right. So thank you to all the cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. If you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or you can do so for free by just watching on the YouTube page. And thank you to all our Patreon subscribers and our YouTube members. It means a lot. Until next time. Thank you for joining us this week as we talk about Cyrus.
What?
Cyrus.
Oh,
Cyrus. Follow us next week as we review Paul Blart Mall Cop. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class and leave us a voicemail. We've been light on the voicemails recently. That number is 209-283-1716.
Follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
All right, I'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
And for the most part, that's frowned upon in society.
Is it?
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.